Thomas.
Welcome. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. You're going to be one of our 32 authors at the Holiday Book Festival in November and the Kensington Mill Falls event in Milford, Michigan. It shows that you've got 8 books. Can you tell us about your books?
Well, gosh. I started off my career as a wannabe sports writer. So one of those books happened to be a collection of sporting articles that I had over the years. That's no longer in print.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where to find it anymore. Then I had a couple titles of my own.
Mm-hmm.
The Gate series that wound up being 2 as of the moment. Because I wound up working with Fred Gallagher of Mega Tokyo fame.
Okay.
And he had me do a series of books on one of his game worlds. And actually, that ties into the book that we were given for the festival.
Yes, the Danish campaign. That's in our book cover contest.
Yep. This one, I especially like this one because he did such a wonderful job with the lighting and the details. I mean, that's just like the books that are just all over the place. He actually, if you were to take he did this on his, I think it would did on his Cintiq. And when you explode up, you would actually see that he actually like went into incredible detail that wound up not showing up on the cover at all. And now I am getting ready to launch my next series.
Mm-hmm.
The first one it's transcendent. The first one is The Girl in the Tomb. And I like to describe it as a post-apocalyptic story.
Ooh, post. So is everything back to normal, or
everything's getting back to normal after just basically a world-changing cataclysm. And some archaeologists, like those dwarves in Moria, dug a little too deep. Found things they shouldn't have found.
Awesome. So Transcendent, you're going to be possibly reading in November.
Yeah, I want to. It's gonna depend a lot on what audience is actually there.
Okay.
The passage I actually wind up reading. Because some of it gets pretty heavy. Some of it's more light. It's just gonna really depend on, if I get like a group of like 8-year-olds in front of me, I'm probably not gonna read any of the mass genocide scenes,
Probably not. Unless you know their parents. Awesome. So you've been writing for over a decade then. Do you do an outline, or do you completely wing it? Or somewhere in between?
The best way that I have described it to people is that I think of my structure. Some of like those old classic buildings that have the vines growing all over them.
Mm-hmm.
The structure I have is the framework for those vines to grow. Where those vines wind up growing isn't something I terribly control.
Okay.
So I have the structure and I let the story go where it wants to, understanding that it very well might just decide, I'm going to grow off this way and dip down and go out into the street.
And it may not resemble anything you started with.
Oh, I actually hope it doesn't.
Okay.
Because I have generally found that when you try to force a story, it doesn't wind up very good. And so my plotted ending, I know when I plot that ending, I know the actual ending is probably not going to resemble it much at all.
Okay. So you stick in the action, adventure, fantasy, sci-fi genres. Do you
I've had enough of reality.
You've had do you So your Transcendent is going to be in a series then? That's the first
Yes.
series? Okay.
Currently slated for 3.
Okay. Any ideas on when the other 2 will come out?
I kind of take a bit of a Jeff Strain approach. Jeff Strain
Okay.
is a video game developer, and he's like, his approach has been, it'll be done when it's done, and I kind
Mhm.
of follow that same approach there.
Awesome, because then you get whatever you get, whenever you get it, and it's a little
I
more.
usually I usually like to announce when a title is ready about a month before it actually drops. That gives people time to like plan for it. But at the same time, it's not like this endless stream like it's coming, it's really coming, it's almost here.
Yeah. No, maybe next month.
I'm I'm told it works. I just can't do that.
Yeah. Awesome. So you are a Michigan author, or are you in a different state?
Well, I like to say I'm in a state of confusion, but yes, I live in Michigan.
Okay. Awesome. Lifelong resident or
No, my father was an Air Force member, so
okay.
my early life I bounced around a lot. Minnesota, a little bit of time in Indiana. I was actually born on. I was born in Michigan in Marquette on an Air Force base.
Oh, okay.
Funny aside, do you know how difficult it is to get your birth certificate from an Air Force base that no longer exists?
I would venture very difficult because it
Extremely.
no longer exists.
Just an aside. No,
Yeah.
apropos of nothing here.
Awesome.
But yeah, I've bounced around a lot. I suppose I would say Michigan is my home because this is finally where I wound up settling as an adult, and I just haven't had the energy to move anywhere else.
Ah, okay. So is writing your full-time career or your part-time career?
Um, yes, I I frequently tell people that if I'm not working, I'm working.
Okay.
I do have a full time 40-hour a week job, but at the same time, I easily put just as much per week into the writing bit. So it's like, which is my full time job? I honestly, I would say both.
Okay. Does your 9 to 5 job relate anywheres into your writing or completely
Oh no,
opposite?
no, absolutely not. Again, I am tired of reality.
This is why you write sci-fi and fantasy.
Exactly. I mean,
Awesome.
honestly, I'll tell you right now what I do. I'm a postal clerk. I mean, that's
Oh,
as a
okay.
day. I mean, the sort of story. I actually don't know if I can tell the stories that I find there. I actually think there are laws against it.
Oh, well, that would be a problem. That would be very problematic.
I mean, I don't think anyone's ever been prosecuted for them, but I believe technically I'm
Hmm.
not supposed to discuss anything that goes on in a federal building. So it's just,
Yeah, you would have to make that into fiction
yeah.
and really change up your characters.
Yes.
Ah, very good. So anything else, anything that you want to relay to our potential readers about your writings?
Hmm. One thing I think I'll say is like, I kind of don't like labels
Hmm.
toward. I kind of don't like the idea of genres in some ways.
Okay.
Because I think when you say, oh, this is a fantasy, or this is an action adventure, or this is a sci-fi,
Hmm.
it creates expectations. It creates an idea that, okay, this is what it's going to look like. this is the elements it's going to have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. Because even as much as I say I don't like reality,
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I do think the stories you tell need to encapsulate the full experience. And that
Okay.
means it's going to have some fantastical elements. But it's
Mm-hmm.
also going to have drama. It's going to have comedy. It's going to have tragedy. It's going to have some dull times. It's going to have some interesting times. And my job is to capture them all in every book I write.
I like it. So you don't just stick to necessarily one particular genre, but make sure that you encapsulate the entire story.
Yeah, well, at the same time, encapsulate the entire story that actually tells a story.
Mm-hmm.
And because, yeah, there's a lot of just like minutia. I'm
Mm-hmm.
never going to be Robert Jordan, for example. I'm never going to devote 20 pages to an embroidery.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be George R. Martin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be Tolkien spending half a chapter laying down lore. But
Mm-hmm.
you do. I do want the completeness of experience that gives characters actual the essence of life, not just props on a stage.
Okay. That makes sense. I like that. Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to having you in November at
I'm
the
looking forward to being
Holiday
there.
Book Festival. You're going to be joining, you're going to be one of 32 authors, so lots of variety. And I will see you in November.
And I will see you. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.